Yes. Yes, I think we're on. I think we're on. Oh, yeah, a lot of you have been waiting, huh? Oh, my goodness. Wow, a lot of you have been waiting. Okay, yes, yeah, definitely. We're getting more and more people on. This is good times right here. Let me know, guys, in the comments. Paper one tomorrow. How are we feeling? How's everyone feeling? Feeling good? Feeling confident? Feeling happy? Feeling the buzz? It's a chance for you to show off your economics. It's exciting times right here. Exciting times. Oh, yeah, okay, good, good. I want to see how many people are on. Let this update a bit. I'm going to give it a minute, guys, just a minute, maybe a minute and a half. I just want to get as many people on as possible. And then, yeah, we are going to get this nailed so we can smash paper one. This is all about paper one. Good times. A few questions about the good old hair. Don't worry, for the next live stream, there will be the proper Dal fade, yeah? So it's coming. The Dal fade is coming. You'll see it for the next live stream. Don't worry about it too much. You have to live with this for today, right? Live with this for today. Okay, who do we have? Who do we have? Yeah, yeah. Now, a lot of good vibes, a lot of positive vibes. I love it. I love it. The key thing that you guys are feeling good, you're feeling happy, here we are, the evening before paper one, you should be feeling good. The hard work you've been doing, it's all in your head, ready to go. And we're getting a few more on. We're getting a few more on. I'm just going to give it one more minute, guys. One more minute. I'm going to give it one more minute or so. Yeah, I'm just letting my connection really get good. It's saying very good stream health. That's good times. You guys can hear me okay, no doubt. Comments are coming through, which is great. I can just about see myself as well, which is good. We're almost ready to go here. A lot of you are online. A lot of you are online. Yeah. Too much. I've got to be careful. If you guys know about last year, you know what I'm laughing about, right? I've got to be careful this first live stream, not to fall into the same traps as last year. We'll see. One thing I will say, guys, look what I've got next to me. Look at this, yeah? Oh man, this is a lot of my motivation. Just have these close by, yeah? The wafts, the beautiful smells. It's like gold right here. Fruit gold. I've got these right next to me. If you know, you know. This is going to keep me going, right? The little smells as they come across. Happy days. I think we're getting there now. We're getting there. We're getting there. John, I'll give you a shout out. Why not? I'll give you a shout out. Okay, 20 seconds, and then we're going to be good to go. If you guys have got any major questions, like really pressing questions, ask. But at this stage, it's all going to be what can we do to make sure we're ready for paper one. I'm going to give you the best advice I possibly can. Yeah, Max, the mango is the way forward for sure. Okay, let's not mess around too much, guys. It's going to be a short live stream. Here we go. We got paper one tomorrow. As I've said quite a few times now, right? Market failure and market structures are massive, massive topic areas. Examiners through history, not just in the 2 years since the course has changed, examiners have always asked big essay questions on market failure and market structures. Now, it's not a guarantee or anything that it's going to come up, but it's certainly areas you should be making sure you know very well for tomorrow. Now, no doubt you've done that already, but just make sure, give it weight in the time that's left, revise it hard. Market failure and market structures, big topic areas. Now, both, I'm talking about long essay questions for every exam board. You've got to be prepared. If we talk a little bit about market failure, let's break market failure down. Market failure, you need to know the causes of market failure, right? You need to be able to chain all the market failure causes that are in your spec to allocative inefficiency. What are the issues in the free market, which is why we get to a market failure there. No doubt you can do that fine. If you can't, then just make sure you do that in the time that's left. Next, you've got the policy solutions, 20 or 25 mark area topic areas for sure. Policies, right? I understand there are lots of different exam boards, so whether it's a 25 marker for you or a 20 marker, whatever. A long essay question, market failure policy, it's a big, big deal. So we all know about that as well. And for every policy, there are diagrams. You've got chains of analysis, how that policy can solve the market failure. You've got your cons, your evaluation points ready to go. Fine. Absolutely fine. You've got to make sure that's all good to go already. However, be ready with some amazing, unique evaluation points. Write these 4 down. These are going to be some awesome evaluation points you can use for a variety of market failure essays. Now, some of these will be relevant for any, some of them depends on the context. But first thing, question, is there really a market failure? If you get an open-ended, generic question about a given market failure and policies to solve it, an evaluation point or a con that you might make is actually, you could argue there isn't a major market failure, and therefore there isn't rationale for a policy solution. Second thing, you might favor market approaches to dealing with a given market failure. Now that might mean market policies like tradable pollution permits, like property rights, like information provision, more market-based approaches, or even just letting the market try and solve itself through private firms coming in and kind of filling a gap in the market. Third evaluation point is weighing up the risk of government failure. So weigh up the risk of government failure for whatever policies you're talking about or for whatever intervention you're talking about. That would really impress the examiner if you can do that. And lastly, the idea of over-intervention by government. Lovely evaluation point. You might have made so many different points about policies and said, there are potentially 2 or 3 different policy solutions to a given market failure. But then a great evaluation point, or a point to make in your judgment, is that over-intervention by the government can actually take away some of the biggest benefits of the market, i.e. the benefits of individual liberty, choice, freedom. You can go into the government being too much of a nannyism, the nanny state, being too paternalistic, and therefore impacting on individual freedom and choice. So some really unique evaluation points for an essay that is very, very, quite strongly likely to feature in your exam tomorrow. Okay, so market failure, don't just know the generics. The generics are fine, the basics are fine, but if you can stand out with some of this unique eval, as an examiner, that would be absolutely incredible. So take that in. That's a great start to this live stream. Thanks for all the donations, guys. You guys are lovely. I must say, the response this year from you guys has been the best ever. Has been absolutely the best I've ever witnessed. I mean, I think that's why I've given you so much love this year. I've just been working my guts off, basically, to do as much as I possibly can for you. And you're doing it now in the live stream as well. I mean, I'm reading some of the comments coming through. On Instagram, you guys have been insane. On Twitter, you've been insane. Like today, Twitter has been mental. So I appreciate the love. Can you believe today on Instagram, I think I've answered about 600 different questions on Instagram. Absolutely mental. I've just been glued to Instagram. Been crazy. So yeah, you guys have been fantastic. So that's a great start. Hopefully you found that really useful. Really, really useful. No problem to all of you. Who's that? To Brian, George, Scott, Matthew, Josh, Max, Kian. Love you all to bits. Be very, very kind. Thank you. Let's move on and talk about something else linked to market failure. All right, guys, take this in big time. Take this in big time. All of the examples, right? All of the examples, they don't just ask a basic market failure essay question anymore. If you're lucky, they will, yeah? So like discuss the effectiveness of an indirect tax to reduce the consumption of sugary drinks. We saw that in 2017. That's bog standard, that's easy. If that comes up, that's a gift. You should be in your exam hall praying to the economics gods and thanking them for that gift given to you. Now that is if you're lucky. You're going to get a bog standard market failure essay, right? But if you see in the last few years, examiners are not always going that way. We're getting a lot of essays now about basically the pros and cons of the market and the pros and cons of government intervention generally. So questions like, discuss whether markets should be left to allocate scarce resources in this given market. Discuss whether the free market is better than government intervention when allocating resources here. Discuss whether government intervention is necessary. Discuss whether government intervention will always improve resource allocation. You see, question styles like that. And what you need to know for those essays are the pros and cons of the free market and the pros and cons of government intervention. Now, a lot of students won't know those, and therefore those essays are going to be like, oh my God, what the heck do I do? So let's cover those now. What are your major pros of the free market? Right. The major pros of a free market, you get allocative efficiency. That's why economists, we dream about markets. I do that all the time. I have dreams about shifts, demand, supply shifts, allocative efficiency. We go crazy for them, right? We do other things about them as well. We get a bit over the top excited about markets because they allocate scarce resources efficiently. They solve the basic economic problem perfectly, right? How do they do that? Through the functions of the price mechanism. Rationing, signaling, incentivizing. The end result, we get allocative efficiency. Why is that good? We don't get excess supplies, excess demands. And that means consumers are getting exactly what they want at the price and quantity in the market. That means consumers are getting low prices, they're getting high quantity, high quality, high choice. The market is a competitive market, right? So that's what you would say first as a major pro, the allocative efficiency benefits of the free market. Then you could talk about profit motive in the free market. Firms, because they're going for profit, if they're able to make substantial profits, they can reinvest. Dynamic efficiency benefits go into detail there. Next, you can talk about what I've already said. The benefits of freedom, liberty, choice. As human beings, these are massive benefits. And we get that in the free market. We consumers can do whatever the hell we want without any coercion, without any intervention, without anybody telling us to do things differently. That's a pro. And final pro, we don't get the issues with government intervention, whether it's government failure, whether it's unintended consequences, whether it's major costs of policies, whether it's impact on freedom, liberty, etc. We don't get any of those issues, right? Governments don't cock things up. They don't have the opportunity to cock things up. So you can talk about that. What about issues though? So they're the benefits of the market, which I think a lot of students don't know. Cons are very easy. So if you're saying, oh, the market isn't great, market failures. Every single market failure type is an individual point to then criticize a free market or to evaluate the workings of a free market, right? So that's one way you can knock down the free market. But remember, market failure generally, that could be 8 separate points if you look at 8 different types of market failure. Another major issue, you can evaluate profiteering. So on the one hand, profiteering is great. On the other hand, you could argue it's a problem. Take, for example, if there was a free market for blood giving. And if you have profit motivated firms or individuals, they might start doing dodgy things to try and keep costs low. They might get blood from people who are infected, therefore they're able to get it at a very low cost, low price for themselves, and then sell it on at a higher price to people who are in need, right? And make huge profits in the process. Now that's not what we want. If it's healthcare, for example, and you have private hospitals, you might have surgeons and things, overdoing surgeries, prescribing too much treatment, right? Why? To make more money. We don't want stuff like that. So you can question profiteering and the ethics of that. Does it lead us into weird ground? Look what's happened recently with EasyJet and the Champions League ticket pricing. That's the idea of profiteering. But also profiteering in terms of cost cutting. We don't want costs to be cut on health and safety, product safety, wages. You can talk about all of that. That would be awesome evaluation there. Other problems with the free market, there might be very good government policies, right, that can be used to deal with potential issues in the market. So you can talk about how governments can come in and deal with some of the problems of the market. And also you can talk about issues like creative destruction, inequalities or inequities in the market, and those kind of issues. So yeah, variety of points you can mention there. And it's to the flip reverse for the pros and cons of government intervention. So government intervention can deal with market failures, but on the other hand, there could be inefficiencies in government, corrupt government. There could be government failures. So it's easy. Once you know one side, you know the other side, all right? But look out for that. That's what examiners and exam questions tend to do nowadays. Okay, what a start. Bloody hell, I need to have a sniff, right? This is basically my drug right here. Oh, okay, right. Okay, back up. Get that energy burst. Boom, 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 boom. Any good questions coming through before I talk more about advice for tomorrow now? Let's have a look. Oh, we've got a few more people being awesome on the super chat. Thank you so much, all of you guys. You guys really are amazing. Am I looking over here? Yeah, incredible. Big up. Yeah, there are lots of people out here. Lots of groups. Who was that? Jacob. Yeah, big up to all of you guys. Edmund and your teacher. Absolutely. Jeffrey, Tom. You guys are absolutely fantastic. Big up to you. Right, are you guys ready now? This is advice for paper 1 tomorrow. Okay, so when it comes to sitting your exam, what are key things you need to remember to do? Bear in mind, guys, paper 1 is tomorrow, paper 2 is on Thursday. What you don't want to do is to make errors that you could avoid doing tomorrow. You don't want to have to learn from making errors for paper 2. You want to make sure that everything you can control is controlled for paper 1, that you do great in paper 1 in the areas you can control, and then it's just a repeat for paper 2. So this advice coming is important that we get it right tomorrow. The first thing, every exam board will have extracts, data, and there will be questions linked to those extracts. Now, regardless of the style of questions, regardless of the section, every single exam board will have them. So, first point of advice, how should you use your extracts? Well, the extract reading time should not be separate. My advice to you, and this goes way back from me doing my degree in economics and before my A-level in economics, it's a waste of time if you just sat there and read all the extracts because you won't be able to retain it all. What you should do is look at the question first. Then go to the extract that's relevant to that question and find what you need. Okay, so the reading time of the extract is in the question time, is in the answer time for a given question. That's the way to do it. Now, in terms of using the extracts, if it's a long essay question, if it's any question linked to the extracts, you've got to use it. But if it's a long essay question, every single point that you make needs to be relevant to the context. Now, maybe that will be through a direct quote. That might be a good way of doing it, or just generally talking in context, making a point that's clearly relevant to the context of the data, to the extracts given to you. That's how to use them. They are not there randomly. Examiners want you to drive your points from the extracts. But if there's the number one mistake students often make, they take that too extreme and then they start regurgitating the extracts. So my advice to you, on the essay questions, get your points from the extract, but then your economic theory needs to follow. So when you explain your point, right, your points from the extract, explaining it is theory. The consequence of that, why it matters, is theory. You've got to make sure that your theory is there, even though your point might be an application point from the extracts, okay? That's very important. On the topic area of examples, guys, I really hope you guys have been revising examples hard. You're ready with examples of everything in the course, because examples for everything you write could be a grade difference for you. Certainly B to A, certainly an A to an A star. So if you're on a boundary right there, good examples will push you up. Examiners are not used to marking essays that are really well applied. So if you're able to do that, watch your marks increase, all right? Big time. That's one massive piece of advice. Second massive piece of advice, diagrams. Nail your diagrams. When do you use diagrams? Don't force it. Use diagrams when they are relevant in backing up a point you're making, whether it's an analysis point, whether it's an evaluation point. If a diagram can illustrate that and back you up, draw it. Now that might mean you do one in a long essay question. It might mean you do two. It might mean you do three. There's no rule on how many. As long as the diagram you're using is beneficial in backing up a point you're making. You've got to make sure, though, that your diagram, first of all, is correct and fully labeled. But most important of all, you've got to be referring to it in your writing, okay? So don't randomly stick it in and then don't talk about it. Within your analysis of the diagram, you've got to be referring to shifts. You've got to be referring to action on the axis. So if the price has changed, Y, refer to it. If the quantity has changed, Y, refer to it, okay? That's good use of diagrams. If you use it to back up your points, big analysis marks, okay? Hopefully you guys have watched my 7 power micro diagrams. If you haven't, get on that. There are some really incredible diagrams you can use tomorrow, or just generally my diagrams playlist, okay? I've had a lot of questions. I'm getting a few on the chat as well now about, can we bring in some macro ideas in paper 1? Yes, and even in paper 2, if you want to bring in some micro, you can. Now, what I would recommend is obviously don't have huge points tomorrow, which are all macro. That would be stupid. It's a micro paper at the end of the day. But if some of your micro points are leading into macro areas, absolutely fine. So for example, if you're talking about cost of policies and you want to go to then budget deficit or national debt or impact on government finances, fine. And then potential austerity in the future, fine. And impacts on the economy thereafter, fine. Absolutely fine, do that. If you want to go into income inequalities, right, and issues in terms of macro objectives being lost, fine. If your point goes to potential inflation side effects, fine. If you're going to unemployment side effects, fine. Absolutely fine. If that's where your point is going, absolutely fine. What I wouldn't recommend is just having a whole point about macro, right? No doubt in your head, you probably know that's stupid for a micro essay. But if your micro points are leading towards macro consequences, examiners love that because they know you've revised 2 years of all content. If you're synoptic in these papers, they will give you real credit for it. And they've mentioned that in examiners' reports in the past. Okay, now let's talk about time management. Mango is greater than cocaine. Henry, you don't know, right? You've got to try it first and you'll know, yeah? I've had a lot of pictures coming in about mangoes. I reckon I must have increased mango sales like crazy for all the Indian grocers out there. There is still about a week or so left of the season, guys, yeah? So this is not just me, it's not me going nuts, right? Seriously, go and get yourself a box of these mangoes. You'll be ripped off in the process, but trust me, you will not regret it. You'll be in heaven as a result. Yeah, let's not talk about cocaine. You'll be in your own kind of heaven, mango heaven. Right, let's talk about time management. Right, time management. Okay, I have covered the timings and the best way of staying on top of timings in my advice videos, my walkthrough videos recently. You guys should all know how long you have for the questions, for the essay questions in particular. Now, my recommendation, and I know this works because I did it in my exams, both at university and at A-level for economics. I was under constant time pressure, like you will be tomorrow. Here's the best way of making sure you don't overrun. What you do, use the clock in the exam hall, or use your watch. If you have a digital watch, use that, okay? When your long essay starts, think, how long do you have? If it's 40 minutes, then look 40 minutes from the time on the clock at that moment. Look 40 minutes beyond that. What is that time? So is that 10 a.m.? Let's say it's 10 a.m. You've got to think, right, at 10 a.m., I'm done with this essay. Why is that really good? Because when you're writing your essay, you'll keep looking at the clock knowing 10 a.m. is my stop point. And you'll be able to assess, oh, I'm good for time. Oh, I'm running behind time. Oh, I'm actually ahead of time. You'll be able to assess after every paragraph you write, am I on track to hit that time or not? In which case, you can reassess your writing speed. You can reassess how many points you're writing, whatever. You can adapt to make sure you hit that time. Okay, so that's the best way to manage time. Whether it's using the clock in the hall, whether it's using your own watch, actually set yourself time limits, all right? And say, by this time, I'm done, and work according to that. It will amaze you how well that works. It really, really does work. And it'll make sure you don't overrun. Because I've had a lot of questions saying, oh, if I run out of time, if I'm really late, can I just bullet point my arguments? You know, can I just write my plan? It's like, no, you don't want to do stuff like that. I read that and I cringe, you know, I kind of get a little bit angry. It's like, why are people asking me such stupid questions? No, bullet points are never going to get you marks. Plans are never going to get you marks, right? My answer is always, don't run out of time. Focus more, how am I going to manage my time? Instead of worrying about, oh, if I run out of time, what do I do? Can I scrap away? No. Don't run out of time. Use that tip, use the clock, use your watch, set times. Trust me, it works. It worked for me like a beauty, you know, and I was under more time pressure than you'll be under tomorrow with my exams. It was worse than this. And it works, trust me. Next piece of advice, the judgment. Oh, the judgment. Okay. If you guys want high grades, I'll say B, A's, A stars. I'll even put a B in there, right? Because I know some of you are probably pushing for that. But B's, A's, A stars. If you're looking for the top grades, guys, the judgment, the final paragraph on long essay questions is fundamental. First piece of advice, you need to leave yourself 5 minutes. So let's say you've got 35 minutes on the long essay, in which case half an hour from whatever the point is on the clock, you've got to be writing that judgment, latest. If it's 40 minutes you've got, after 35 minutes, latest, get on that judgment. You need at least 5 minutes to write a killer judgment. And in your judgment, there are 3 things you're looking to do. Do not know it as a conclusion. The worst thing is that you summarize your arguments. It's a judgment. The first thing you do is answer the question. Don't sit on the fence. Give an answer to the question. Let the examiner know what side of the fence you're on. Okay, so answer that question. That's a great start. Use the phrase based on the evidence. That's a good way to go. Not in conclusion, not in summary, not I believe. Use the phrase based on the evidence. That's a great way to go. And then answer the question, 1 sentence. Next thing you do, justify why. And that means it doesn't matter what your answer is. Justify why you've said that. Now, how do you do that? Well, you might have made a point earlier in your essay, which is the biggest argument, which has led you to saying yes or no. In which case, you can put that down, but you need to add something new to that point. Maybe it's evidence, maybe it's extra theoretical weight, but there needs to be something new, otherwise you're just repeating that point. So either that's how you do it, or you can bring in evidence, you can bring in more theoretical weight, but you can also bring in maybe a new point that you haven't already talked about, which alongside something you've already mentioned, which maybe you've used in your essay, gives it proper weight as to why your judgment is whatever you said. Okay, but that's how you justify why. Did you hear that I said you've got to have evidence, right? That's where your examples come in. If your examples are good, you'll find the judgment very simple. And the last thing you've got to do is you've got to balance. You've got to give some balance in the judgment. Show appreciation of the other side of the argument. Clearly not too much to then contradict your judgment, but show appreciation. So maybe that's an alternative policy. If you said no, maybe it's a combination of policies. Maybe it's a conditional judgment and saying it's dependent on something happening or only if this happens. That's how to kill a judgment. You're looking in terms of quantity, guys, at around a third to half a page. That's why I'm saying around 5 minutes, yeah? Because that's what you need to then write that kind of level. Whoa, that's some huge advice right there. And again, that could be a great changer for you guys. Okay, last piece of advice I want to give is there's still a bit of time left before paper 1 tomorrow. I've had a lot of questions here on the live stream today, but also on my various social medias about how to use the final time before paper 1. Now, granted, you might think, oh, it's 5 to 8 Monday evening. There is still a lot of time, guys, before paper 1. A hell of a lot of time. So obviously there's this evening, right? So keep doing what you're doing. Content mastery, planning essays and things, getting your diagrams nailed, getting your application nailed. Keep doing all of that. But what about tomorrow? Now your exam, all of you no doubt it's 9 a.m., yeah? 9 a.m. or around about 9 o'clock. Now you've got to think about it. Have a strategy for tomorrow. Have a strategy. Because these economics exams, there is a lot of content that you need to remember. So if you just wake up and go into the exam hall, maybe that works for you, but there is a risk there that are you really warmed up? Now let me tell you what I used to do for my economics exams. I used to wake up, if it was a 9 a.m. exam, very early in the morning to make sure I had at least an hour and a half to then just brush over content. Yeah, so sometimes that meant I woke up at 5 in the morning and I gave myself the hour and a half. Now, that might sound great to a lot of you. That might sound horrible to a lot of you. It doesn't matter if you like that or don't like that. My point is, have a strategy. What is your plan? I always used to find that just brushing over content and testing myself with the content in the morning made me sharp, made sure I was ticking inside, made sure my mind was ready, my brain was ready to then go in the exam. I felt that was really important. I don't think in the morning like doing essay plans is a good idea, technique and all that. No, because you'll remember that. That will be retained, that will be there. It's just the content. You want to refresh yourself with content. So I think have a plan. Maybe it is wake up a bit early, maybe it's something else. But have a think, how am I going to use the time tomorrow before the exam? Okay. Shout out to all you guys. Scape Nation. What a legend. What a legend. All of you guys. I'm just going to take one pause and I want to say one last really important thing. Hopefully you found that all really useful, guys. I've just been pouring as much effort as I can into giving you the most useful advice for tomorrow. Hopefully you're taking it in. The beauty of this live stream, it will be then on the YouTube channel as soon as it's done. So you can rewatch it and kind of get the key points from it, absolutely. Fraser, is there an Econ Plus baby? Who knows, guys? You know, there'll be one soon. There is one now, but who knows? Maybe next time I'll be doing a live stream with a baby in hand, right? With them smelling mangoes instead of me. We'll see. The wife's not here at the moment. If she listens to that, she'll go cock a hoop. But wait and see. You guys have got to be loyal, though. Let me just say that now before I end. You guys have got to be loyal. Yeah, even though these exams might be coming to an end pretty soon. I don't want you guys just disappearing. We can't have that, right? We're a family. We're a family that works together, stays together, a family that loves each other, stays together. I love you guys to bits. Do you love me back? You got to stay loyal, right? So even if you guys might be doing your university degrees or whatever next year, you still got to be tuning into these live streams. You got to make sure that you say, yeah, we were from the class of 2019. I'll remember you. I'm just going to say one last thing, guys. One last thing. And that is, okay, we have to learn from last year. Listen very carefully to this. Don't worry if the questions look a bit dodgy. Don't worry if they look a bit ugly. Don't worry if they're worded a bit funky. Do not worry. Why? Because you guys are incredible. You guys have put the hard work in. You guys have the knowledge. Yeah? Believe in that. You have worked so damn hard, you will know how to answer any question. Now, even if it's worded funky, even if you think it looks horrible, it doesn't. Dissect the question down, work out what topic area it links to, and then get your points accordingly. You will be fine. There is no question out there that is going to trip you up because your hard work will result in success. That's how economics exams go. I'm saying that because last year after paper one, a few people felt the questions were a bit tricky, were a bit dodgy, right? But later, when I was telling them about it, they realized, oh my God, it was that simple? Oh my God, they were the points I could have written about. They knew the stuff. They just got into a bit of a panic, yeah? They let themselves get into that mind state, and therefore it affected them. So they learn from that. Learn from that. That's not going to be you. Just in case it might happen, you might see a question and you think, ooh, what the heck is that? Don't worry about it. Have faith in what you're doing. Trust me, you know the content. Believe in that. You do. I've had so many questions, emails, etc. You guys know the stuff. A lot of panic. And that's normal too. Nervousness and stress. That's normal because you want to succeed. But don't let that get in the way of the talent and the incredible knowledge that you have. Okay? All right. My God, I'm actually out of breath. Bloody hell. These are tough, these live streams. These are tough, you know? And I just thought today I wanted to do it so that I just give you the best advice so late in the day now. I wanted to do it more that way as opposed to worrying about like specific little questions here and there because you guys are on it. You guys know what you're doing. I just want to finish, guys, by saying this. And that if tomorrow's your first economics exam, your next one is very soon after on Thursday. You guys are all in the hype. A lot of you are saying, oh, I've got that nervous energy inside. Guys, I totally understand. I felt the same way before my econ exams and I loved econ, right? I feel the same way now. I'm really nervous for you guys, actually. The nervousness just means you care. It means you want to succeed. And also it's there because you've worked so hard, you've put so much time in, you want the reward for that. Like I said, you're going to get the reward. Let the nerves remain, but not to an extent where they're going to scupper your progress. They're not going to affect your final exam. We don't want them to go that far. But the nerves are okay. The key thing is trust that knowledge that you have. Believe in your ability. Believe in all the hard work you've done. Believe in yourself as a top economist. You guys are fantastic. I can't believe what I've seen over the last, especially 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Unbelievable. And I'm telling you, from all the previous years that I've been getting people prepared for exams, this year has been different. You guys are on a different level. You've asked all the right questions, you've been doing all the right content knowledge, you are ready to go. Believe in that. Love it. See tomorrow as a chance to impress the examiner. See tomorrow as a chance to show everybody just how good you are at economics. See tomorrow as your chance to grab your A and A star. See tomorrow as your time to shine in the economics world. That's what tomorrow is. It's your time to go out there and prove to everyone, look at all the hard work I've done. Look at how amazing I am. Look at how incredible my responses are. That's what tomorrow is. Believe in that. Believe in the hard work. Believe in all the dedication you put in, and you will score 100%. Have that motivation. That will continue into Thursday as well. But thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. You guys have been absolutely fantastic. Like I say, this will be on the channel. So if you've missed a few bits here and there, go and watch it again. That advice is gold dust for paper 1 and for paper 2 as well. There will be another live stream for paper 2. I can't wait to see you then as well. But it will go great tomorrow. It will go absolutely great tomorrow. You will smash it. You'll feel great. And we'll carry on ready for paper 2 as soon as it's done, okay? So go hard, guys. You're going to be amazing. You're going to smash it. I can't wait to hear just how incredible you've done. Thank you, guys. I love you all to bits. I can't wait to see you again very soon.